Well, it's hard to follow the Raging Grannies. And I think it's 1992. That was during uh, just before Ralph Klein days, right? And there was a lot of push to privatize public services, particularly healthcare, and that's how Raging Grannies were born. I mean, as a group, right? And it's such a phenomenal thing to see happen here in our city, and now hopefully spreading to other cities. It really reminds us about the collective power of the community and how we can all play a role in making a difference. And Raging Granny has been doing it. There are many other people in this room have been doing that. So thank you so much for inviting me to share some words. I do want to first of all start by acknowledging that we are gathered here on Treaty 6 territory. It is so important and fitting that every event that we start with that acknowledgement. This is a reminder. It's a reminder that the rich history, rich cultures, and the rich economies of this land that we now call home has been here for centuries. And there has been so much indigenous knowledge and wisdom that we would go without if we don't tap into that in really understanding what we can do in our daily lives, in our community lives, in our professional lives, to move forward on the path to reconciliation and build a better city for everyone, Edmonton for all of us. So it's very important for all of us, particularly those of us who have come to this land from somewhere else, to acknowledge it, appreciate, and learn from it. I became an activist out of necessity because when I moved here in 1981, I had very little understanding of Canadian way of life, couldn't speak English at all, and I struggled a lot to integrate into the community. And being different, I'm talking about 1981 when our city was not as diverse that it is today, I did face a lot of racism and discrimination at school, in my workplace, out in the general community. So I needed to find like-minded people who were going through similar experiences, and through that I actually found a group of people who were also involved in talking about issues that impact us, and they were actually involved in the community to change our community. So that's how I got involved in community activism, and that carried on through my work in various ways, through theater, and then through my work where I became the main organizer to bring our ATU 569 DATS drivers into the union. That took us a number of years, and finally we got it organized, finally we got it certified and became part of the city. And I'm so proud that this last year, finally, we have actually brought both the bus drivers union part and the DATS part into one union with the same benefits, same rights, and same access to healthcare and benefits that city provides. So it's really not only my own journey of activism, but also speaks that activism is so essential to bring change in our community. And yes, that change is incremental oftentimes, but it's when it really look at the long view of their change, it really becomes a transformative change. So, and that's what we're celebrating today. The people that you saw on the screen are some of my personal friends who are also here in this room, who have impacted my life in many, many ways, right? So I proudly call myself an activist. Now I'm a politician, right? But I hope I'm still an activist politician, right? Yeah. I think those. So thank you so much. And John Humphrey Center is a remarkable organization that has been doing such essential work to build the kind of city that I envision. I envision a city where we are seen, where we belong, where we feel respected, where we have the equal opportunity or equitable opportunities to participate in our community life, have access to good, well-paying job, access to safety for everyone, access to opportunities into recreational facilities, libraries, rec centers, everything that we do, making sure that they're available to all of us. And that's the vision John Humphrey Center has been pushing us to realize as a community. And I hope that we are moving toward that vision, and that is only possible because we have people like you in this room who have been pushing society to do better, who have been pushing governments to do better, and you have been pushing each other, all of us, to do better. So with that, thank you so much for having me here today. So honored that I get to be a part of this group of friends. And I was also honored that Renee and John Humphrey Center gave me an Human Rights Award number of years ago, right, for my work in the, yeah, 2018, that's good, yeah, right, yeah, good, yeah. Do that, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I can't stay longer because I got to go back to a meeting at City Hall, but please do know that we deeply appreciate the work you do, and because we value activism, because we value people's ability to gather in public places, we have made some changes in the last public spaces bylaw where we have removed the requirement to having a permit for public demonstration. So you can actually free to express yourself whichever way you want, including other public parks. So with that, thank you so much for having me. And so, and keep up the good work. Let's continue to build an Edmonton for all of us.